say?
I don't have
It's
to
really
guess.
the financial decision that, is really really the same as our own personal vehicles, and that is as long as we get the use out of it and we avoid the extra debt, or in this case, the loss of the use of funds for other projects, it's still a useful vehicle. I mean,
That would be it. What opinion? I mean, our recommendation is to replace it.
And we're budgeted for this, David?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
this money could go to other things, though, right? I mean, it could go to manhole replacement, which I think Jim Melvin says pays $2 for every dollar invested.
That is a decision. That's a choice that could be made. That would not be my recommendation, but that's a choice that can be made.
How would council like to proceed?
I move that we authorize the purchase of a 3/4 ton 4x4 pickup truck from Shawnee Mission Ford for the Operations Division of Public Works in the amount of $21,900 and $2,900 for additional equipment and retrofitting for a total cost of $24,800.
Second.
Motion Freeman, second Gregorsik, that we authorize purchase of a 3/4 ton pickup from Shawnee Mission Ford. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Motion carries. New business item number 3,
Okay.
consider authorizing the purchase of a half-ton 4x4 truck from Shawnee Mission Ford for the wastewater treatment division of Public Works.
Let's get a similar situation. This is a 2001 pickup truck. The current value of the truck is around $4,000. The estimated cost to bring it up to snuff is around $6,000. Particular items worth noting are a slipping transmission, $2,400. Front end, same issues as the other one, $1,500. The bed's rusted. The estimated cost to replace is $1,500. Rocker panels are rusted, $350. As mentioned before, the estimated value is about $4,000. It's a 2001 with 120,000 miles on. It's used by the treatment plant staff to basically do their duties. Pretty much it's an all hands on deck, all directions type operation with 20 lift stations in a fairly large plant site. We're recommending buying a crew cab since the treatment plant staff does not have anything more than just pickups for transportation in the event of training. The added cost of the crew cab is $3,400. Money is budgeted, and be happy to answer any questions.
Comments, questions?
I have just one, David. Is a crew cab big enough for our staff to fit into?
It's you get 4 or 5. I mean, it'd be large.
2 up front and 2
Yeah.
maybe out back?
We have about 3 trucks. The operations has 1 or 2 trucks with a crew cab. The plant staff does not.
Okay.
How would council like to proceed?
I move we authorize the purchase of a 1/2-ton 4x4 truck from Shawnee Mission Ford for the wastewater treatment division of Public Works in the amount of $23,245.
Second.
Motion Harrison, second Freeman, that we authorize purchase of a half-ton 4x4 truck from Shawnee Mission Ford. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Motion carries. New business item number 4. Consider authorizing the purchase of a dump truck, cab, and chassis from Diamond International.
This item basically replaces a 1998 truck. We've talked about it before. Basically, the existing truck has fairly low mileage. However, purchased was basically too light of a vehicle for the usage. Would have been a fine vehicle for like a lawn and garden operation. Parks and Rec uses this type of equipment. For us, it's really a heavy dump truck for the type of plowing operations. There are several compelling reasons to bring our fleet back to 4 dump trucks, notably during snow operations, which we fortunately have dodged until last month. Our arterials, of which are about a third of our road inventory, most efficient to run 2 trucks in tandem so you can plow 4 lanes. Without that, it takes longer for the 1 truck, which does slow those operations. Also, if you have an extra truck, if you do have breakdowns, if you do have a truck stuck, the first storm we did have one of our dump trucks was down for the entire storm in January. As I mentioned earlier, the second storm, all 3 dump trucks were stuck for about 2 or 3 hours. So the more vehicles you have, or at least up to your fleet level, you have more efficient operations. One of the trucks that we do have is a conveyor bed. It was purchased about 10 years ago, the thought being this would avoid having to purchase a spreader. It's a somewhat limited usage vehicle. It's a very high, top-heavy truck. We generally don't use it for hauling debris just because it's difficult to reach over and load it. If we had it to do over again, we would not have bought it. So generally what happens is the line crew has a dump truck, the street crew has 1 standard dump truck plus the conveyor bed. If we're out doing street patching, you go out, you tear out, you dig out the bad asphalt, and it's good to have 2 vehicles where you have one bringing in the new material, the other hauling away spoils. If you're just using 1 truck, haul away the spoils, clean out the truck, get the asphalt, come back, and it's a much slower, less efficient process. This particular vehicle, as far as getting it current condition, the snowplow on it was a hand-me-down from a previous truck, probably a 1989 or 90 truck. We basically scrapped it because it's not usable. The bed, also a carryover from that earlier truck, is rusted. The fuel system needs repair. We just had to repair the fuel system on a newer truck because of basically a fuel issue. We're looking at between $3,000 and $5,000 to get the fuel system operational. Rear axle is leaking, another $1,000. You spin it, you still have kind of a rusty old truck. So you can spend a lot of money, and I don't think you'll make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. So we would recommend purchasing a new truck from Diamond International, following the Mid-America Council, Regional Council purchasing bids at $70,054. The total cost to outfit this truck will be $111,554. It's about $1,500, about $1,000 over the budgeted amount for all this. However, that could be absorbed. Be happy to answer any questions.
David, do you have an idea of what the value might be, or will we send this to auction as well? Very rough estimate.
Just a second, please. They're estimating around $6,000.
Okay. The other question I had was, do you have any, and I know it would be a hard thing to pinpoint, of what the cost might have been in regards to either soft costs with extra man hours and things that were necessary because this has been out of service for the last 15 months?
No, I don't have a good estimate for that.
Is it safe to say that it's caused either extra hours or extra
I can tell you
stress upon the department to have it out?
That I think is a very fair statement. It makes things slower. As I say, during snow operations, there's a little more stress. During maintenance operations, it's a few more steps.
The other question I had, and someone will have to update me, I apologize. How long have we been a part of the MACPP? Is this the 2nd year, or has it been longer than that?
We've been using this for as long as I've been here.
Do you know if there's been a time, and it's something I'd like to see happen, maybe on one of these large equipment bids, if we actually sent a bid out to compare to make sure that what we see with the MACPP is the best price? Looking at the truck cost, the smaller truck cost, which I'm a little more familiar with, it looks like the price is fantastic. But just to see a large equipment bid like this, maybe do a bid process to see what comes back, to make sure, are we contractually obliged to have to use the
So
MHD?
we're not required to use them.
I'd like to see a measure with one of these large equipment purchases down the road and see truly if we are getting what we